He thought $50,000 could buy him the perfect gaming companion, and maybe something more. Instead, she showed up with a contract, a camera crew, and a secret that would destroy everything he thought he knew about himself. Derek Winters was what most people would call a tech bro success story. At 32, he had ridden the cryptocurrency wave to a 7-figure bank account and purchased a sprawling modern house in Austin's tech corridor. With his carefully maintained physique, designer wardrobe, and collection of luxury cars, Derek cultivated the image of the quintessential bachelor living the dream. But beneath the curated Instagram photos and networking events lurked a profound loneliness that no amount of Tinder dates or industry parties could fill. In the blue glow of his multiple monitors, Derek spent most nights gaming, his true passion, and the one place where social anxiety couldn't touch him. Online, in the fantasy worlds of MMORPGs and battle royales, he was Death Striker 999, guild leader and legendary strategist. In real life, he was just another rich guy who didn't know how to connect. Zoe Chun, known to her 2.3 million followers as Zenzoe Gaming, was a rising star of female Twitch streamers. At 26, she had built her brand on being the anti-stereotype. No low-cut tops or bathwater for sale, just phenomenal gaming skills paired with sharp commentary and authentic reactions. With her trademark electric blue hair tips contrasting against her natural black, cat-eye glasses and quick, infectious laugh, Zoe had created a community that celebrated skill over spectacle. What her followers didn't see were the 18-hour workdays, the vicious harassment campaigns she weathered, or the student loans from her abandoned computer science degree that still haunted her bank account. To her audience, she was living the gamer dream. To herself, she was always one viral controversy away from losing everything she'd built. Their world should never have collided beyond a username in a chat or a donation notification. But Derek had always believed that enough money could solve any problem, even the hollow feeling that grew with each empty evening in his perfectly furnished home. The idea came to Derek during one of Zenzoe Gaming's 24-hour charity streams. He'd been watching for hours, donating steadily until he'd reached her top-tier supporter status. As the stream hit the 20-hour mark, Zoe, visibly exhausted but still bantering with viewers, mentioned offhandedly that she was considering taking a month off streaming to develop new content, but couldn't afford the loss of income. Derek's fingers moved before his better judgment could intervene. His $10,000 donation lit up the stream, followed by his message. What if someone sponsored your month off? Like a gaming residency. Zoe's genuine shock made her drop her controller. After composing herself, she laughed it off as a hypothetical, thanked him for the massive donation, and continued playing. But Derek couldn't let the idea go. Later that night, in his private Discord server, his gaming buddies reacted to his fixation on the streamer with typical bravado. Dude, you're obsessed with this girl, his friend Marcus typed. Just admit you want to meet her. It's not like that, Derek insisted. She's just really good. Think about the content we could create together. Another friend chimed in, yeah, right. You've donated, what, $30K to her this year? Just slide into her DMs like a normal simp. The conversation evolved into increasingly crude suggestions until Marcus issued the challenge. 50 grand says you can't get her to agree to live in your house for a month, even as a professional arrangement. No way a legit female streamer would risk her rep like that. Derek's competitive nature flared. You're on. And when I pull this off, it'll be the best content collaboration of the year. Nothing weird about it. The next morning, nursing a slight hangover but emboldened by the bet, Derek sent a formal business proposal to the email listed on Zoe's business inquiries page. His offer, $50,000 for 1 month of in-person collaboration at his Austin home/studio, with professional accommodations, content development support, and a chance to use his top-of-the-line gaming setup. He pitched it as a business opportunity, a chance for both their brands to grow through collaborative content. What Derek didn't expect was a response within hours, or that Zoe would counter his offer with terms of her own. Derek had imagined many scenarios after sending his proposal, but a video call with not just Zoe but her manager and lawyer wasn't among them. Her professional approach threw him off balance from the start. Your offer is interesting, Zoe said, her manner much more businesslike than her stream persona. But I have conditions. Those conditions were extensive: separate living quarters within the house, strict filming schedules and content approval, her own security, chaperones for any IRL streams, and most importantly, a documentary crew to film the entire month for her YouTube channel. "I'm calling it Behind the Stream, the reality of gaming collabs," she explained. "My audience values transparency. This arrangement needs to be clearly professional from all angles." Derek agreed to everything. Two invested to back out. Marcus and the Discord group mocked him mercilessly when he explained the documentary aspect, but the bet had evolved beyond their juvenile challenge. This was his chance to break into content creation in a meaningful way. And yes, to spend time with someone whose gaming skills he genuinely admired. When Zoe arrived at his house 3 weeks later, the reality hit him hard. She brought an entourage: 2 camera operators, a sound tech, her manager, and a personal assistant. His bachelor pad was transformed into a production set, with equipment, schedules, and release forms. He hadn't anticipated the invasion of his private space, but he reminded himself this was business. Their first week of filming established their dynamic: professionally cordial on camera, awkwardly distant off camera. Derek found himself constantly performing, trying to impress Zoe with his gaming setups, his knowledge, his connections in the tech world. She remained friendly but firmly bounded, always with crew nearby, always on schedule. By the second week, Derek had abandoned his original motivations and genuinely wanted to make the collaboration successful. He studied her content, learned her gaming preferences, and set up specialized equipment to enhance their streams. Their first collaborative gameplay session went viral, with viewers responding to their contrasting styles. Her quick, strategic approach versus his more methodical tactics. "That was actually fun," Zoe admitted after they defeated a particularly challenging boss together, their stream numbers hitting record highs. It was the first genuine smile she'd given him. Derek felt something shift. "We make a good team." Seeing an opening, he began sharing more of himself. His early struggles before his crypto success, his social anxiety, his genuine passion for gaming beyond the rich guy hobby perception. Zoe, in turn, relaxed slightly, sharing stories about the harassment she'd faced, the precarious nature creator income, and her dreams for building educational gaming platforms. By the third week, their content had developed a natural rhythm. Gaming sessions were interspersed with challenges, Austin food tours, and even a charity event at a local children's hospital. Viewers noted their growing chemistry, with comment sections speculating about romantic possibilities despite Zoe's clear professional boundaries. Derek found himself waking each day with purpose, planning content ideas, enjoying the collaborative environment. The house felt alive for the first time since he bought it. When the cameras weren't rolling, they still maintained their distance, but the awkwardness had been replaced by something like professional camaraderie. What Derek didn't see, because Zoe was careful to film these segments without him, were her candid reflections to the documentary camera when alone in her suite. "The audience sees what they want to see," she explained to the lens. "They're creating a romance narrative because that's what gets views. The reality is much more complicated, and they have no idea what this experiment is really about." 3 days before the collaboration was scheduled to end, Derek returned home early from a tech meeting to find Zoe alone in his home office. The one room they had agreed was off limits for filming. She was scrolling through a secondary monitor, a deep furrow in her brow. "What are you doing in here?" he demanded, his trust instantly shattered. Zoe didn't startle or apologize. Instead, she turned the monitor toward him. On screen was a Discord conversation, the original one where his friends had challenged him to get Zoe to live with him, with all the crude commentary and $50,000 bet spelled out in painful detail. "Care to explain this?" Her voice was calm but ice cold. Derek felt the blood drain from his face. "How did you find that?" "You left your Discord logged in on the streaming PC. It's synced to all your devices." She stood, crossing her arms. "So this whole collaboration was just a bet? Get the gamer girl to live with you. Win $50,000 from your bros." "No. I mean, yes, there was a stupid bet, but that's not why." Derek fumbled for words as his carefully constructed world collapsed. "The collaboration has been amazing. You've seen the viewer numbers, the engagement. This is bigger than how it started." "Bigger?" Zoe's laugh was hollow. Let me show you something bigger. She picked up her phone and pulled up a private YouTube link. The video that began playing was expertly edited, splicing together fragments of Derek's conversations when he thought cameras weren't rolling, comments about her appearance to his assistant, late-night texts to friends about how the collaboration was going, the Discord bet in its entirety. My documentary was never just about gaming collaborations, Zoe said quietly. It's about exposing the reality female gamers face, being treated as conquests, as content, as anything but professionals. You're not the first wealthy guy to try buying my time and attention. You're just the first one I decided to make an example of. Derek felt physically ill. You've been planning this the whole time? Everything was just to set me up? Not everything, Zoe admitted, a flicker of genuine emotion crossing her face. The gaming sessions, a hospital visit, those were real. You're actually talented, and sometimes you're even a decent person. She paused. That's what makes this complicated. Don't release that video, Derek pleaded. It'll destroy me. It would, she agreed. And 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't have hesitated. But now, she closed the YouTube app. I'm giving you a choice. What kind of choice? Derek asked, wary of any offer that might come after such a revelation. Zoe sat on the edge of his desk, suddenly looking tired beneath her carefully maintained stream-ready appearance. I've been doing this for 5 years, she said. 5 years of death threats for beating men at games. 5 years of viewers who think a donation entitles them to my personal time or attention. 5 years of being underestimated, objectified, and dismissed. She looked directly at him. Your $50,000 bet is just a more expensive version of what happens every day. Derek remained silent, the magnitude of his actions sinking in. So here's the deal, Zoe continued. We finish the contracted month. We create the final plan content. Then we do one final stream, unscripted, unedited, where you talk about the reality of this experiment. You want me to publicly humiliate myself. Derek's defensiveness flared. I want you to publicly own your actions, Zoe corrected. Talk about how this started as a bet. Talk about what you've learned about creator life, about the challenges female gamers face. Be honest about the fact that money can't buy authentic connection. She paused. Or I release my original documentary, and your reputation in both tech and gaming communities is over. The choice was clear, even if the path forward wasn't. Why give me this option at all? Derek asked, why not just expose me? Zoe's expression softened slightly. Because somewhere between your entitled beginning and today, I saw glimpses of someone trying to be better. Someone who actually loves gaming for gaming's sake, not just status. That person deserves a chance to make amends. The following day was excruciating. They continued filming scheduled content, maintaining professional facades while the unspoken truth hung between them. The crew sensed tension but attributed it to the collaboration nearing its end. That night, alone in his room, Derek faced the hardest decision of his life. The easy path would be to pay Zoe more money to bury everything. His crypto portfolio could handle it. But as he scrolled through the comments on their collaborative videos, genuine appreciation for their gaming chemistry, young female gamers thanking Zoe for the representation, viewers noting how he seemed more authentic in these streams than his usual online presence, he realized money had never solved his actual problems. When the final day arrived, Derek entered their streaming room with a decision made. The cameras were set up for their farewell stream, their month-long journey coming to its conclusion. Without discussing it with Zoe first, he began the stream with 4 words that would change everything. I need to confess. For the next hour, Derek laid bare the entire story. The bet, his loneliness disguised as business opportunity, the objectification he'd never recognized in himself. He spoke directly to the camera, to the thousands of viewers flooding in as clips began circulating on other platforms in real time, his unfiltered honesty breaking through his carefully maintained image. I thought money could buy connection, he admitted. I never considered that real connection comes from mutual respect, from seeing someone as a whole person, not as something to be acquired. Zoe, who had been silently watching from her chair, finally spoke. Why are you doing this? We hadn't agreed you'd go this far. Derek turned to her, Camera's momentarily forgotten. Because it's true. All of it. And I'm tired performing a life instead of living one. 6 months after the viral confession stream that rocked both gaming and tech communities, Zoe Gaming uploaded a new video titled Collaboration 2.0, Redemption Run. The thumbnail showed Zoe and Derek sitting side by side at gaming setups. Not in his Austin mansion, but in a modest studio space with Chun Winter's Gaming Education Foundation displayed on the wall behind them. The video opened with both of them addressing the camera. A lot has happened since our last collaboration, Zoe began. That final stream hit 12 million views, sparked important conversations about gender and gaming, and yes, changed both our lives in ways we never expected. Derek nodded, his appearance noticeably different. Simpler clothes, a more relaxed posture, no carefully styled image. After everything went down, I had 2 choices. Disappear into my wealth and privacy, or use this experience to actually contribute something meaningful. They explained that in the months following their viral confession, Derek had approached Zoe with a business proposal, a genuine one this time. He wanted to invest his tech knowledge and a significant portion of his fortune into creating gaming education centers for underrepresented communities, with scholarship programs specifically targeting female and minority gamers interested in esports and game development. I thought he was trying by redemption, Zoe admitted to the camera, but when he offered me equal partnership, board control, and put everything in legally binding writing before announcing anything publicly, she shrugged. Actions speak louder than apologies. The foundation had already opened its first 2 locations in Austin and Los Angeles, with plans for 5 more cities by year's end. Their streaming content now alternated between competitive gameplay and educational segments on coding, game design, and navigating the content creator economy. As for their personal relationship, they addressed it directly. "No, we're not dating," Zoe clarified with a laugh. "Some trust issues can't be fixed in 6 months. But we are friends and business partners." Derek nodded in agreement. I had to learn that meaningful connections, whether professional, friendly, or romantic, aren't transactions. They're built on respect, honesty, and mutual value. What they didn't mention on camera, but sharp-eyed viewers noticed, was a small cake visible in the background with 1,000 hours community service completed, written in frosting. The personal commitment Derek had made beyond his financial investment, volunteering his time teaching coding to kids in underserved communities. Zoe's documentary was eventually released, but substantially recut, rather than an expose. It became a chronicle of accountability and transformation in online spaces, with Derek's willing participation showing the messy process of recognizing privilege and making genuine amends. The $50,000 bet that started it all, Derek had paid it. Not to his Discord friends, but as a first scholarship for a young female gamer who couldn't afford competition travel expenses. She was now the Foundation's rising star, mentored by Zoe herself. Sometimes the worst beginnings create the best opportunities for change. In a world where connections are commodified and relationships are content, the most revolutionary act might be simple honesty. Facing ourselves in the harsh light of our own mistakes and choosing to build something authentic from the wreckage of who we pretended to be.